And yeah, we're doing big things out here, man. You can listen to us on WJYN 98.5. You can listen to us on UptownRadioPhilly.com. And most importantly, we're on live on YouTube as well, man, on our Uptown Radio.
Oh,
right there.
I know it's live. Let me take off my hat just in case some ladies is watching. Hold
Oh
on.
my gosh.
My cut not like crazy no more, but just in case.
You have
man.
one person, 2 people watching. Calm down. Calm down.
Listen, but yeah, this is the first time for us.
Hey, just in case. Now I gotta dress fly. Like I got on sweatpants and a shirt. I ain't know we was doing YouTube today.
Yeah, man.
You did not need to say sweatpants. No one can see that on the camera.
That's true.
Listen, man, you just ratting yourself out, man.
That's all good.
But yeah, we definitely have like a really big show for you guys today. We're going to be talking some college football, some NFL topics, NBA bubble, the works. So sports is back in full effect, whether we
Finally.
yeah. Well, more importantly, dome teams, dome sports are dominating right now, but we're going to go to a little more of a serious issue that is invading college football. We're going to be talking about the potential Pac-12 boycott. A hashtag, there's a hashtag, We Are United, that began on Twitter that signified that the Pac-12 wanted specific demands being met. Otherwise, they're going to boycott and sit out the season. There's been reports that several players from Washington State have been already kicked off the team just by supporting the hashtag We Are United. And yeah, so pretty much, Mark, you've been reading the demands earlier. So
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely respect the players coming out with these demands because number one, you already know my stance on it. These kids aren't getting any type of compensation, so I would definitely have some demands. So they definitely want safety standards, and they want the coronavirus issue to be addressed, especially the NCAA and the students in general. They also want 50% of the revenue amongst athletes and other sports that they want. Also, they want to reduce the pay for coaching because one thing you had mentioned before we came on is that nobody goes to these stadiums to see the coaches. Like I can't recall like ever going like, oh my God, I can't wait to see Nick Saban. He's just gonna do a wonderful like.
Yeah, nobody goes to Happy Valley to see James Franklin.
Right,
nobody goes to the Horseshoe to go see Ryan Day.
Like nobody's traveling all the way up to Penn State to see the coach.
Exactly.
At all. And then also they want direct 2% revenue share that will go towards the financial aid for low-income black students, which that's my favorite one out of all of them.
Absolutely.
It just gives, African-American students more opportunities because a lot of us, especially in that enrollment process, we do tend to lose out when it comes down to that financial aid situation. We know a ton of people where we've started in freshman year and then never see them again.
Yeah.
So I think this is great.
They already started behind the 8 ball. They already have to take out, several different loans like Perkins loans and like Sally Mae.
Yes.
And like they're definitely behind the 8 ball when it comes to that.
Agreed.
So honestly, none of these demands seem like definitely like unreasonable, especially like the payment period. Like there's already been like reports that like California start the ball rolling with this, that players are already going to be starting making their money off their own likeness within like the next upcoming years, which they should have been doing to begin with. Like any other college player could have been, not any other like college student already could have been doing that. So like I don't know why it took so long for them. Like if I want to sign like autographs and if I play from the starting quarterback for like Alabama and I want to make money like just signing off autographs so I can put gas in my car and food in my stomach because those dining halls are not going to stay open 24/7.
They're not at all.
It was like why isn't that my right? I mean, but yet you can just sell a jersey with the name off my back and I can't make any profit off that.
It's not like that. They get penalized for making any type of compensation while they're a college athlete.
Reggie Bush.
Well. That's the worst part about it too. Like we've all been college students, but I don't like so you weren't a college athlete, were you?
Nah.
All right, cool. So we already know how rigorous the schedule is as just being average Joes in school. So imagine being there where you got to get up, you got to hit the weights, then you got to go to class, then you got to go to study hall, then you got practice, then you got to do this, then you got a meal plan, and then you got film.
You have the away games as well.
Right. So it's like, where are these kids going to get this compensation from? And we know at the end of the day, they're not really there for their education. It's for the sports programs.
Yeah, and it's not like now with the NBA, it's like, with the NFL, with like playing like college football, it's not like a one and done thing. And it's also not like the fact that the NFL has like a G League program in which you could just elect to go play in a G League, make $500K, and then transition to the NBA.
Right.
It's like you got to be there for at least the next 3 to 4 years. And it's like we already seen it with players like Jalen Smith, who was a first round talent, top 10 talent, plays for the Dallas Cowboys, but because of an injury, he got slipped to the second round.
Right.
Or like
Sidney Jones was the same case.
Yeah.
He slipped to the second round.
tore his Achilles during the pro day.
You even the kid that Miami just drafted. I'm terrible at mentioning his name. The quarterback.
Oh, Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, even him. Like his draft stock fell because of his injuries.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the same thing almost happened with Zion Williamson.
Yep. Well, he's different. I don't think, regardless of his injuries, he was still going number one.
But he was still penalized for everything that happened, or he's being investigated currently.
Oh well, yeah.
By everybody because of the compensation he may have received as a college athlete.
Of course.
Yeah, and you already saw the whole ordeal when it comes to Reggie Bush.
Yep.
Right.
Like pretty much getting his Heisman's taken. I'm like for what?
Isn't USC finally now acknowledging that he was a part of the organization?
Yeah.
Well, it's about doggone time. I mean, I honestly feel like USC hasn't really been a powerhouse or even really spoken up since the times of Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart. Like,
honestly, I don't even go one further. They haven't been the same since Pete Carroll left.
Yeah, you're really hitting it now.
That's correct.
Right on the nail.
But honestly, I'm kind of glad now that, in a way, that the players are, they're a lot more organized. They're not just one player is demanding this and being on an island of himself.
Right.
Like Colin Kaepernick was. It's like you're seeing players collectively getting together. And I did a project up in Millersville. Is that should Division I college athletes be compensated? And I asked one of our financial advisors. You guys remember Dwight Horsey? When I talked to him, I'm like, what do you think about players? Because back then, Northwestern was talking about potentially unionizing, so that way they'll be able to be protected, be able to make demands and all that. I guess you're kind of seeing that now. They're trying to make that investment and saying all right, listen, we're going to be fairly compensated. We also want specific guidelines for our health because we're going to be playing. Because Pac-12, that's also a hotspot now.
Yes.
So they're also going to be a potential COVID risk as well, even with just playing interconference games. So I'm kind of glad now, players are starting to realize that just because we're the players, just because we're for your entertainment, in the end we still hold all the power.
Agreed.
You're not going to go in there and just watch the coaches. We're the ones putting our bodies on the line. This is our health, this is our family we're putting at risk as well.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. So it's these demands, they're not far-fetched. These are something that can easily be taken care of, especially if the goal at the end of the day is for them to put football on. So if you want to have football on, then you want to put your best product at foot, you have to make sure you have your best players out there as well.
And here's the thing, I don't want to hear anything about they're just amateur athletes. Here's the thing. It stopped being amateur athletes when ESPN made $1 billion deal to host the college football playoffs. So there's way too much money now. We're talking 9 digits being made, 9-10 digits being made just for college football, and all they want is a piece of the pie. You can't give them any.
NCAA makes hundreds of millions of dollars off.
We're talking billions.
Yep.
And these athletes make zero.
Facts.
Zero.
They can get sanctions for accepting a whopper. They can be superstars scoring 4 touchdowns a game. Next thing you know, somebody wants to look out for them. That Burger King, they're in line. We already talked about their schedule, how they don't have no money. They might be in line, pockets a little shaky. Somebody offer them a whopper, you're in trouble. But then if you go around and sell your championship ring for compensation, you're in trouble. So it's there's no winning for the athlete if we're being honest. And truth be told, a lot of these athletes don't even get a chance to go pro. So something's got to give.
So that's the thing when it comes to the NCAA. I think at max 2% of the athletes go pro in some capacity.
Yep.
And the other argument that people make is who gets the compensation. So really, the only sports that make money for the NCAA is basketball and football.
Yeah.
But you want to compensate all the athletes. So the ones that play soccer, the ones that play lacrosse, the ones that play baseball, swimming. You're going to want to compensate athletes in some capacity. We're not saying that it needs to be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars if you're playing other sports, but they do deserve some type of compensation because even lacrosse is on ESPN sometimes.
Yeah.
Soccer is on ESPN. Baseball,
gymnastics is on.
Gymnastics,
everything.
On ESPN. So if you're on ESPN, ABC, anything,
shout out to the West
that,
Virginia gymnastics team.
There you go. There you go. If you're on TV in any type of capacity, you deserve some type of compensation, especially if they're advertising your name and making your brand for you.
Absolutely.
Okay? So that's all the ask for now. it's terrible that we have to do it in light of a pandemic, but there's also no better time than the present at the same time.
And then the crazy thing is, as us three, we've been broke college kids before. So if you're like 18 and somebody
broke
gives
now.
you ain't the only one. If you're like 18 and somebody gives you $2,000 a month, I'm sure those kids will be perfectly fine. And $2,000 a month, I'm sure that's on the light side. They can do a lot more, but I'm just saying, you're 18 years old, you're getting paid $2,000 a month.
I wish I got $2,000 a month, especially when I was living off campus.
What?
If it's $2,000 and that's just spending money, and we're talking about for like other athletes, when we talk about again like the lacrosse, like the baseball, or anything like that. Obviously, if you're like a star college athlete, maybe you deserve like $100K, $250,000, and then you go pro because you are putting your body on the line. Every time you go on that field, there's been plenty of times where, like I said, a Tua Tagovailoa, he got injured multiple times. It's the only reason his draft stock has dropped. And some people, they never come back from those injuries.
Nope.
Exactly. Yeah. So
We're all for compensation.
All for it.
We're for the players. We're for the kids.
We're all for it.
I'm gonna throw y'all a little bit of curveball since we're on the topic of football.
Okay.
But The Rock, he went in and purchased the XFL, saving them for $15 million. What's your take on that? What do you guys think?
Personally, that's a boss move.
I think so too.
From the Rock.
That's a drop in the bucket for him.
And that is
nothing.
And that's a boss move. But I'm happy he saved the XFL.
Probably spent all that money you made on Rampage for it.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, movie deals, all that stuff. Yeah, and that's just another way for The Rock to get on the news and get in the spotlight as well. So for me, I just look at for The Rock. That's another boss move on his part. Good for branding.
Yeah,
we still have sports out here for the XFL, and I think The Rock as some like a potential owner of any type of sports just looks good for him.
I think so too. What you think, Chris?
I think it's really good. We don't know all the details yet. He just bought the name. We don't know like about the branding, like if the teams are coming back, if the players are going to come back.
Yeah.
But it's a good move for him. I feel a lot more confident in charge because I feel like The Rock is going to make this like a more personal project for him,
right?
As opposed to like what Vince McMahon did.
Agreed, because The Rock is going to have more time to actually focus on the football. I mean, you would think. I mean, we see The Rock in a tons of movies, we don't know if he'll really truly have the time. But I think it's a great thing because I'm not going to lie, I was actually into the XFL. Like I was enjoying it. I like their structure.
Yeah, man.
I like the way their point system went down. I like
the Defenders, baby.
Yo, I was rocking with the Defenders too. Like I didn't know a lot of those guys, but I remember them from college and then some guys from the NFL.
Oh yeah. I remember there was a quarterback from Penn State on the team.
Oh, Matt McGloin.
Yeah, Matt McGloin.
Yeah.
I was like, I remember used to be in the NFL.
Who was the running back that the Eagles had that was in the XFL? Everyone was hype on him.
Oh, Elijah Holyfield?
No, I forgot his name. We're definitely going to come back. I forgot his name. But overall, I thought the XFL was a solid product, and it was a good alternative.
PJ Walker got a job because of that, too.
Yeah, like a lot of people got opportunities.
Hopefully Cam Phillips went to Houston Rednecks. It's an opportunity, too, because him and PJ Walker were probably like the best 1-2 punch in the league.
And they had a lot of black head coaches. That's another reason why I was going to
say shout out to all these black entrepreneurs or color entrepreneurs just making moves because you have Ice Cube with his the big three thing. Now you have The Rock with the XFL. Like we're slowly taking over sports.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's gonna be.
On the field, we already took over. We're just taking.
Oh well, yeah,
exactly.
Like now, like management, and ownership side, we're starting making headway.
I mean, it's been a long time coming. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if we're talking sports. We can be talking music, fashion in general. It doesn't matter. We are the culture. So it's about time that everybody else recognize that. And they know it. So it's good that we are finally in a position of authority.
He bought the Chiefs on Ballers.
Also, like speaking of like ownership, shout out to Patrick Mahomes using some of that money that he got to be minority owner of the Kansas City Royals.
Big money. Wow. That's a big money move.
Yeah, man. So
and his father played baseball, so he's been learning how it is to be a professional athlete since day one. He's watched his father, so even the knowledge that's gained with finances and everything, just having a father figure there for him is major. So big shouts out to Pat Mahomes because that man is just continuously finding ways to eat.
Yeah, and you're listening to Upturn Radio, WJYN 98.5. We're just talking sports. So if you want to call in, the number's 215-763-9596. talk to us about anything, man. If you want to talk hockey, we're here. If you want to talk a little bit about baseball, want to air your grievances out about the Phillies, you can do that as well. But we're going to be switching over. I think football is a really good topic to get for this next topic. One of the biggest COVID cases has dropped in the NFL over the past week, and it's head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Doug Peterson.
Yeah, Dougie P.
Yeah, apparently, like, he shows no symptoms. However, because of this, he still might have some significant lung damage down the line just because you have gotten it. But now Deuce Staley, who's now the running backs coach, is now as the acting interim
head coach.
Yeah, but shout out to Deuce. Like, he's been through 3 coaching regimes: Andy Reid, Chip Kelly, and now Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
So, like, even if it's just a temporary base now, like Doug might come back like next week and like everything's fine. But just the fact that he just got this opportunity, just to be. The fact that if something, God forbid, something does happen to Doug, he's going to be the next guy in charge.
Yeah, I know. And honestly, I think Deuce Staley, I mean, listen, he's been doing great for the running backs for a long time. He's been really flourishing, helping these guys truly develop. I thought it was a little bit unfortunate that he was considered for offensive coordinator, but Doug is going to take over offensive coordinator and head coach. I thought Deuce definitely deserved it, but I think this is a good time for him to still, I guess, develop and game plan and show that he is worthy of a position. So even if he may not be granted that position here in Philadelphia, he may be able to go elsewhere and get that opportunity. So I think this is great for him.
He could put it on his resume.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So listen, and we already know how hard it is to get black head coaches in the NFL. Like, there's only 3 right now. Anthony Lynn from the Chargers, Mike Tomlin from Pittsburgh. They've been trying to get him fired for years.
I don't know why.
He's doing good.
Facts. Without Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh isn't even relevant.
You're down to your 4th string quarterback. You almost make the playoffs again in that division. You're doing something. Come on.
I don't know why they hating on the brother. Man.
And you lost your running back.
Yes.
And Brian Flores from Miami.
Yes.
The only other minority head coach, I believe, is also Ron Rivera. That's now in Washington.
Yep.
The Washington
football team.
The football team.
The Washington football team. What a name.
I think I'm good now. I won't say RS anymore. I think I'm okay.
Okay, we got a little question here. How's Deuce Styles compared to Doug? Well, since Deuce Staley's been taking over the running backs since, I believe, like 2012, 2013. The Eagles have been the 7th best rushing attack in football since. Which is
a surprise to me, because all I can see is myself yelling at the screen is run, run, run. But when they actually do run, they are productive.
Yeah.
Which drives me crazy.
Yeah. And you got to think, like, most of his tenure, like he's got a league rushing champion, LaShawn McCoy. Then the year after that, he was starting rushing. Then he was traded. Then we got the likes of DeMarco Murray,
I blame that on Chip Kelly.
Yeah, DeMarco Murray, Ryan Matthews, Josh Adams, Wendell Smallwood.
Yep.
They got a really good running back now, Miles Sanders. Boston Scott's a really good 3rd down running back. Yeah. Potentially take Corey Clement as well.
I like Corey Clement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if Deuce has to potentially take over some games, I definitely see them being a lot more running centric, considering that our offensive line is a lot more better suited.
Much better in the run
blocking as opposed to anything else.
And then truth is, if we actually did run more, in my opinion, I feel like that would open up for the pass game, because I would get so frustrated watching games, because how often would you see like the Eagles do a play action rollout? It was rare, but you know what? If you establish the run, that is going to open up the play action rollout. That is all Minnesota did with Kirk Cousins, and he found all this time.
That's all Kyle Shanahan did last year,
right? Like they had
over 200 rushing yards in the NFC title game against Green Bay. They couldn't stop it.
Nothing at all. So I'm not opposed to them running more. It's just going to open up everything else, and it's going to definitely set up the play action. And all we do is those RPOs anyway.
That's why Deuce is there, so that we run more. You know that Doug Peterson comes from the Andy Reid coaching tree. Andy Reid's a pass-happy coach. Andy Reid had to do it last year. It was the only way he was going to win with Patrick Mahomes. I do understand he had to pass last year in order to win the Super Bowl. And Patrick Mahomes is great, but most of the time, when you have great running backs, when you have the great O-line that we have, R.I.P. Brandon Brooks for your injury.
He might come back again, man. He's super.
He's not gonna come back this year. You know,
I don't know about that.
Listen. I don't know what that man be eating, but he might come back.
If he come back anytime this year, and he pulls off like an Adrian Peterson type of
scary.
Scheme, that's scary. But if anyone's gonna do it in the Eagles, he's the one that's gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
To me, arguably, he's the best offensive lineman on the team when healthy.
Oh yeah,
when
definitely.
healthy.
That's why they paid him that money.
Yes, exactly.
Not saying Lane Johnson.
Huh? Oh,
Lane,
yeah.
Lane Johnson to me is like 1A, 1B, and then you have Jason Kelsey right there.
No, because the Eagles' offensive line is like night and day when Lane Johnson's there and Lane Johnson wasn't there. Because those 6 games in which Lane Johnson was suspended,
Yeah.
like they couldn't. Like Carson Wentz was.
He was a little flustered.
But just also look like who was replacing Lane Johnson. I'm just saying Brandon Brooks got the money and deservedly so for good reason.
Agreed.
He arguably the best guard in the league.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that the Eagles are more well equipped to replacing Brandon Brooks as opposed to.
We are more well equipped. Yes,
Yeah, so like Jason Peters is moving to right guard, and
true.
even if that doesn't work out, we still got Matt Pryor, who's like
that is true.
been catching a lot of eyes in training camp as well.
I still think we have like a top 5 right side of an offensive line in the league, putting Jason Peters there. Well, with Brandon Brooks there, we have the top, the best.
Speaking of the offensive line, y'all think Dillard ready?
He better be.
One would hope.
No, he's ready for me.
You think so?
Yeah. Listen, what need to sold me last year was that game against Chicago where he just completely neutralized Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
The only reason why I feel like people like hold Andre Dillard to like some sort of skepticism is because when he finally started the game at right tackle, and he
looked a mess.
Yeah, he never started at right tackle.
He never played a right tackle ever.
He compared it to if you're right-handed, if you're left-handed. Use your left hand.
If a player is openly telling you that is a problem.
I hear that. That's a problem, but at the same time, if you move back, like if I'm way better at throwing with my right hand than my left hand, I am trash at throwing with my left hand. I don't do it. It's not going to happen. I look terrible with it. Okay, don't say anything, Chris. I see your face.
Hey, Patrick Mahomes can do both, though.
All right, Patrick Mahomes he's great. He's
different.
That's why he's got $500 million.
That's that baseball pedigree that's got him like that.
Right? That's why he has $500 million coming to him in the next 10 years. Okay, like
nobody else.
But that comparison, as soon as you said that, I'm like, I don't like that you said that, but it makes sense. You're better off where you're comfortable at. So if you're comfortable on the left side, let's see you on the left side. We saw him on the left side.
Yep.
He shut him down. So as long as you can do that, I just wanted him to build some muscle and gain some weight. From what I hear, he's done that from this offseason. So as long as he can tee that on, he should be fine.
He's in the right room to get that done because he's got Jason Peters on his case, Jason Kelsey on his case, Lane Johnson on his case,
Sayamalu on his case.
Listen, they're going to make sure that this young kid succeeds at the end of the day. But my personal opinion, when you're first round talent, you should be ready immediately. So him getting the opportunity to get some snaps and to play behind Jason Peters should have been a great developmental year for him. So it should be all systems go at this point.
Absolutely.
So I'm ready to see what he's going to be able to do. I just hope that he can give us a little bit of that Jason Peters feel, because I remember watching some old highlights recently of Jason Peters, and he would be downfield like with Shady, like leading the way 30 yards deep. If we can get something like that from Dillard, I know it may be a lot to ask, but if we can get something remotely close, I'm cool with that.
Absolutely. And we'll say we're keeping the train of Eagles commentary going. We got another question. Thoughts on the secondary? I'm confident in the secondary this year.
I think it's definitely better.
It's
better with Darius Slay.
Yeah.
I also like the move of Jalen Green. Is it Jalen Green?
Jalen Mills.
Jalen Mills.
Green Goblin.
Right. I like Jalen Mills being a safety now because I always felt like his speed wasn't crazy and he was good, especially in the red zone. He can get quality tackles. So him playing over the top, I think, is big, especially losing Malcolm Jenkins. So now I won't have to worry about Jalen Mills getting hit with a double move.
I had to go back and watch like his highlights back at like LSU, and listen, LSU definitely has a claim for a DBU, but yeah, but yeah, I had to watch him. Just like he looks like a natural there,
right?
Like him just playing that Joker position, same thing like Malcolm Jenkins. I think he's definitely going to flourish there.
I think so
too. And like with them, and like also Rodney McLeod's also there as well, so it's like he'll be able to retain them as well. My question is to you guys: who is going to be starting on the opposite side?
Sidney
there
Jones.
you go.
Calling it.
I don't know. I don't know. I still
did you see Sidney Jones at the end of last year?
I did,
He's
but
shutting
I just
people down.
I need more. I need more.
I understand more, and you're going to get more.
I need more.
He's going to win that job against Maddox.
We'll see. I like Maddox. Maddox is another guy who can tackle.
I like Maddox, but I like Maddox coming off the bench, putting him in like a
bench or the slot.
It doesn't matter. Just put him in a fill-in slot.
I don't think Sidney Jones is ready.
Here's the thing: like outside of Darius Slay, like Avonte Maddox, Nico Coleman, who we got from the Rams, and Crayvon LeBlanc. Those are all slot guys.
Crayvon LeBlanc.
Yeah. strap. So like, all three of those guys, they're slot guys.
Yeah.
So to me, Sidney Jones, this is the best opportunity for him to prove that, like, listen, there's a reason.
He has to.
Yeah.
This is the reason
We're
we took
talking.
him.
Yeah. We're talking about a kid who
First round talent.
Yeah, first round talent.
Right.
He was in that conversation with Marshawn Lattimore being the best corner in the draft, and we got him in the second round, unfortunately, because of an Achilles injury.
Yep.
So this is his opportunity to prove himself. And
It was a confidence issue with him. He was confident at the end of last year. He was shutting people down.
Like I said, he was getting it together, but I just need to see more.
That's fine.
Like
That's
I was impressed. I'm like, all right, so is this what they saw
we all
in
need to see
him?
more. It was a small sample size what we saw.
You a Sidney
it was-
Jones fan? I can tell. This is your guy.
I just think like
hey, he balls for me and Madden.
This is your guy.
we invested so much in him. He was injured. He came back at the end of his first year, rookie year. He had a confidence issue the year before. This is his year. I just see something special from Sidney Jones.
Here's the thing. I just want Sidney Jones to pan out because when I watched that draft, I'm like, come on, guys, get Joe Mixon. Get Joe Mixon. And then
Joe
we
Mixon now.
Right.
I mean, Joe Mixon. I mean,
He's not bad.
Not bad.
Technically, Joe Mixon is a top 5 running back. Statistically, he's a top 5.
He's just behind a terrible
Okay.
offensive line.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and he doesn't
Hopefully
do
Joe
much.
Burrow changes things, but
He doesn't do much.
We'll
for fantasy
see.
football either. He does not.
No, you don't want to pick him up. That's never a good idea.
It's not because of him. It's because of the offensive line. Bro.
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So obviously Doug Peterson, get well soon.
Yes,
We need you back.
WP.
Mhm.
And we're gonna also move on for our final topic of the NFL.
Mhm.
You know, you brought it up earlier, so we might as well just start having this now.
Oh, which one?
Oh, you know one. You know what?
Oh, is Aaron Rodgers still a top 3 quarterback?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. You still think he is?
No, you're right.
I don't think he is. No,
he's
the
right.
way Chris was in here talking earlier, it was like he was about to flip some tables.
he's not-
over.
he's
I
not
just
top
don't-
three.
Listen,
I don't even think he's top 5.
Oh, he's top 5.
He's top five.
Hey,
Whoa.
what?
He's top 5.
No,
He's top
way.
five.
Oh, we can do this.
No way.
What's your top 5?
All right, I don't have no particular order. I'm
That's
just
fine.
going.
That's fine. That's
Just
fine.
name
That's fine.
Pat Mahomes. Can we all agree
Okay,
on that?
Go ahead.
That's fine.
Yep, go ahead.
Russell Wilson. Can
Okay.
we all agree on
Go
that?
ahead.
Yeah, I'll
Go
agree.
ahead.
I'll agree to that.
Yep.
All right.
Lamar.
Drew Brees.
No.
Drew Brees.
No.
Drew Brees is top 5. Keep going. Keep
No.
going.
Okay.
Top 5.
Lamar Jackson.
Okay, cool. Who's the 5th? That's what I want to know. Who's the 5th?
Tom Brady.
No. No.
It's Tom Brady. It's TB12.
No.
But I'll throw Aaron Rodgers like 6, and then Carson Wentz 7.
Listen, what you saw from Tom Brady last year, did you saw a top 5 quarterback from him last year, or you just going based off
What you saw from Aaron Rodgers last year, did you see a top 5 quarterback?
26 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, over 4,000 yards passing.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, nah, he ain't got it no more. Aaron Rodgers ain't got it no more.
So what did
He's
you?
a strong 6. He's a strong 6.
Can I give my top?
Okay, fine.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go
My
ahead.
top. In order. Pat Mahomes.
Okay.
Russell Wilson. Lamar Jackson. Aaron Rodgers. Drew Brees.
All right, so
And you want more?
basically we just swapping out
Deshaun
Tom
Watson.
Brady over Carson Wentz.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson over Carson Wentz.
Nah.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson over Carson. But Carson Wentz is right. He's next. He's right there
All right,
next.
that's fair.
But here's
Perfect.
my thing about Lamar Jackson though. He had one great season.
Right.
Yeah.
And like it was a really great season. It was really good to see. I'm loving seeing these young quarterbacks, like get theirs.
Definitely
But I
flourishing.
gotta see a bounce back season from him. I gotta see another season of it. Like we already seen another.
I mean, what do you mean bounce back?
Well,
You're saying it as
mean-
if he had a off season.
like a back to back season. That's
Okay,
what I
all
mean.
right.
To me,
fair.
this is
I
the
worded it
year.
wrong.
This is the year because they have a whole season of tape on you now, Lamar.
Yep.
A whole season. So you have to pull it off this year or it's over. Like Carson Wentz, he had an MVP season, and then we had tape on it, and he's still showing it consistently.
Mhm.
Now, Carson Wentz not being in the top 100 players,
That's a problem.
I don't want to talk about that.
That's a problem.
that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah.
But and that's disrespectful, and that you lose credibility for that whole list as soon as you do that as well, in my opinion. But Carson Wentz has shown consistently, outside of injuries, that he can carry a team and that he is a top 10 quarterback.
Yep, we saw those final 4 games of the season.
Yep, carried them to a playoffs with no wide receivers. Practice
Yes.
squad people.
So so we all agree though. We all agree. Y'all say he's in the top 5.
Top
He
5,
is
not top
five.
3. Not top 3.
Not okay.
Yes.
Top 5, not top 3.
Yes.
Look, we can change between the number 12s. All right, between Brady and Rodgers. depending
Brady
on
is
the day of the week, the weather.
Brady is a top 10 quarterback at number 10.
All right, look.
Maybe.
At the end of the day, as long as y'all both got my man Carson in the top 10, I'm cool.
Carson is easily in the top 10.
I'm cool with
Yeah.
that at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Easily.
I'll agree to that.
All right.
But listen, Mahomes is one and Russell's two, and after that,
Lamar Jackson.
It's a pick.
Just because of the MVP season, you have to put him there.
Well, and
Just 'cause of the
one
MVP.
other thing I will give Harbaugh respect on is that he took a different approach with Lamar Jackson. Like, he didn't try to make him someone that he's not. He actually worked towards Lamar Jackson's strength.
He built that whole
And that's
team around
something
him.
that I like, and I wish NFL coaches do that a lot more. Like, game plan for the guys that you have instead of trying to force people into being wide receivers or play special teams. Like, Lamar Jackson truly has the talent. So big shouts out to the Ravens for building around him and making it happen.
all right. So that concludes our NFL talk. And once again, you're listening to Uptown Radio, WJY 98.5. You're listening to the Running Back Radio Show. You're on 98.5 on uptownradio.com and on our live YouTube feed. Just want to give a big shout out to whoever's watching our YouTube feed right now and giving us questions. And now we're going to dive into some NBA bubble talk for the next half hour.
Yes, let's
do it.
Plenty of
go.
us to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
And let's start it off right.
Go ahead.
Come on, guys, start with me. Hate.
Listen,
Brett Brown.
yo,
I'm not doing it.
listen, I don't hate the guy, but he does need to be fired.
He got to go.
Yo, I am.
No. You're no. I hate the guy.
Yo, I
nothing to hate about
Hate's
him.
a strong
There's
word.
nothing to hate about
Is
him.
a strong word.
He
I
just-
hate him
That
as a coach.
Man,
He just has to
go. First off, all right, now the last game that happened yesterday,
He
is
still has to go.
It's fresh in my mind. I don't care about the win whatsoever. I could care less about that win because they blew a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter. The past two games in the fourth quarter, the first game against the Pacers, they gave up 46 points. And in the game last night, they gave up 43 points in the fourth quarter. That comes down to his rotations. His rotations are trash. First off, why is Korkmaz coming in before Alec Burks?
No. So, okay. First, the Korkmaz thing because of length, I can get that.
He don't
Here's
even
my
play
problem.
defense.
But here's my problem, because neither is Alec Burke. Why is Raul Neto getting minutes?
In the fourth
quarter, no, I agree. In the fourth
Why?
quarter, he should not.
Why
even
is he out there in the
see
fourth
the
Shouldn't
quarter?
be smelling the court.
He shouldn't even see the floor in the fourth quarter.
That's my problem.
Now, I do like Neto. I'm not gonna lie. I like Neto 1 through 3.
yes,
Fourth quarter,
just
bench, sit right next to me.
Like if someone's just messing up, if they're having a bad game, you want like a steady point guard on the floor. Absolutely, putting that in for a little bit, calm the game down and everything. In the fourth quarter, he should be out of the gym, in my opinion.
Big
He should-
facts.
Like, why is he on the court in the fourth
You
quarter?
need to be where Kyle Quinn and Mike Scott are in.
Yo, way down there. He need to be one of the hypest men of like I'm part of the sitcom boys. Like, I don't understand why he was even in there fourth quarter. Like, but just going back to Brett Brown, right? So yesterday I'm watching this game, right?
Okay.
And every time I'm watching the Spurs, I'm like, there's no way Brett Brown is from this organization. There is no way. I'm up here seeing DeMar DeRozan demolish us off a high pick and rolls.
Because he's a closer.
No adjustments, right?
he's
No
close.
adjustments.
Yeah.
Peep, right? So we came out hot. So what does Pop do? What does Pop do? He does what a coach does. He does in-game adjustments. Came out in the zone.
Which is our problem.
Next thing you know, we can't shoot. We can't make a bucket. And I'm like, there's no way with this talent. First of all, LaMarcus Aldridge is chilling at the crib. They don't even have like a true, like legit playoff roster. And for him to make these
It's a
adjustments,
legit playoff roster
and
since 2011.
facts, and for him to make these adjustments, and for the Sixers to win by
But
2.
but that's my problem, because the first game you have TJ Warren
Yo, not
out
Tony.
of all people
Not Tony.
go off for 53, and I bet every Sixers fan looking at that game like, all right, we'll just put Matisse Thybulle on him and shut him down.
Oh no! But what did Brett?
And you don't even do that.
He didn't even let TJ see a different defender. Like, listen,
Nah.
a lot of them times, I'm not gonna lie, Ben did get cooked a little bit, but it happens to the best of us.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, like everybody
That's
gets
fine.
cooked here and there, but at least show them something
That's fine.
different.
I'm saying stop helping off him. If someone's hot like that, stay on him. Force someone else to beat you.
Yo,
right.
Warren, he killed this.
You
show.
gotta listen. Do your work off the ball, and that's my thing. Like you put Thibault on him, just pester him.
Yes.
Like that's all you had to do. Like it's not that
If
hard.
the other holidays make their shots, all right. Sorry, they made their shots. It's all good.
It is what it
All
is.
right.
But literally
Oh,
no
sorry.
one else
I
made
dropped my note.
Yo, that game, no one else made their shots. First off, listen, TJ Warren, he had 53 alone, right?
Yeah.
The next highest person was 15 points. That was Victor Oladipo. The second highest person was Aaron Holiday. That was another 15 piece. If we hold TJ Warren to 30, we win that game.
That's what I mean.
We couldn't stop not one
We could
man.
have had TJ Warren get a season high, and we still would have won the game
Facts.
because Embiid had
And not to
40.
mention,
20.
TJ Warren was 9 of 13 from downtown.
Yes.
And like, dog, he was at that point he was taking heat check
He shot
shots.
20 of 29.
And your big three actually had a good game.
Yes, they had an astounding game.
Yes.
They
Like,
played
Embiid
really
at
good.
41 and 20. Like Tobias Harris has probably been the most consistent player on the team right now.
You know what,
Shout out
Chris?
to-
Say what you text me about Tobias Harris.
Oh no, like you couldn't read my sarcasm like my retweet.
No.
Also,
No.
okay, fine.
I believe you.
Oh, now you believe.
No. I believe you were feeling. Listen, this is what Chris said. Chris going to text me because Tobias was hooping. We know that. Can't
Yeah,
deny it.
yeah.
Chris going to text me and say, "Yo, Tobias Harris, top 5 players in the bubble." I'm like, what? Like I love Toby. I'm happy he's on our team. He's not top 5 player in the bubble.
Right now, if you look at stats,
To even think about it.
right now, is he a top 5 player overall? No,
No.
but statistically, in the 2 games,
been
that he's
2
played,
games.
that's what I'm saying. In the 2 games, he might be top 5 because TJ, but based on that, TJ Warren is the best in the 2 games.
I got no problem with that. TJ Warren 1, Joel Embiid 2, Anthony Davis 3, Tobias Harris 4, and DeMar DeRozan 5.
Basically, everybody who cooks the Sixers is in the top 5.
If you're on the Sixers or you cook the Sixers, outside of Anthony Davis, you are in the top 5.
Pretty much.
what it is.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh,
But
man, they were
Talk about our
disgusting.
defense.
But no, it's going back to Tobias, man. He has a major green light. I'm talking about that first game when he had that 30. He was 30 points. He had 8 rebounds. The only thing though, he was 12 for 29. So it took him 29 shots to get 30 points. That just shows you how much of a green light he has on this team. Another thing that I did like and I noticed is that pick and roll, as we talked about last week, that pick is working a lot. And if you can simply look at the box score and show like, listen, Ben, Tobias, and JoJo are going to hurt you.
Yep.
Like that's what they did.
And Shake Milton last night went 6 of 9, had the game winner.
Yo,
And like honestly, I like that. That was to me like obviously Shake made the shot, but Al Horford made that happen.
Yeah.
The inbound pass to him. He saw that Dejounte Murray is going to go down in the post, double team Joel Embiid, kicks it right back to Shake in the inbound. Perfect 3. That's a veteran move right there.
Agreed.
Like I have my issues with like Al Horford. You know, he's making way too much money.
He earned his money in the bubble. I'll tell you that. He's been playing good.
Horford, yeah, he has been playing well.
Playing well in the bubble.
I like him in this new role.
Yeah, like
And to be honest, it's not a new role. It's something that we all know, like, is that Joel Embiid and Al Horford should not play extended amount of minutes on the floor together.
yeah, especially with Ben Simmons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, we knew that, but their leader,
Which was the problem. So now they're staggering with where it's either Ben Simmons and JoJo, or Al Horford and JoJo, or Al Horford and Ben Simmons, which is fine. They're not on the court at the same time at all, and that works out.
Yeah, but it just annoys me that Brett Brown only adjusts his rotations only because they're in foul trouble.
and that's the thing. Like, do you strategize ever? Like, that's my problem with Brett Brown. I feel like there's no form of strategy. That's why I was literally just going nuts watching that game. And I'm asking myself, there's no way. Like, what has Brett Brown learned from Greg Popovich? Because it doesn't look like he's learned a doggone
He
thing.
had Tim Duncan too. It doesn't make sense.
So
Anthony
you
Parker.
can't put you can't put Joel Embiid in positions where Tim Duncan was. This is like
That's what I mean. It doesn't-
I'm just confused.
Have you ever had like a job? Have you ever did like your resume and then like you just looked at a specific job? He was like, I know how to do Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. That's how I feel like every single time I look at Brett Brown and I look at like he's from the Greg Popovich coaching tree. I'm like, are you sure about that?
Right,
You
like-
sure he didn't lie on his resume?
I feel like he might have lied on his resume. I'd be looking at film, like even trying to see him on the bench, and he wasn't there. Like, I don't know if they put him like in the back. I don't know if he was like in the trainer's
It
room.
was funny. I think
I don't think he was there.
he was a development coach too.
Developing who?
You're like on the Sixers. You're like, all right, who did you really develop?
I mean,
wanna see. Who did you?
I'll give you Robert Covington, but that
Robert Cut, yeah, right, and TJ. And I'll give you, because TJ torched
Oh
us.
my god.
TJ
Not-
torched
yo, I don't want to know
us.
TJ. No TJ McConnell talk. He's no longer on this team. I'm
Neither
tired.
Robert Covington, and he
I
torched us.
didn't bring up neither one of them. I don't want
He
to talk about
torched
no
us.
Coco.
All right. But
Another your Harden comment. He's not top 5. He had an okay game last time, so he's not top 5.
Who said that?
Okay.
What
I'm just
comment?
letting you know.
no, James Harden in the top 5.
Nah,
Yeah, all right. James
Nah.
Harden definitely in the top 5.
He not
All
top
right,
5
no.
right
But,
now.
but speaking of James Harden, listen. Obviously, we're going to be spending like the next 20 minutes so talking about the NBA bubble. That actually brings up my next point. Listen, you guys. I've always been a massive critic when it comes to Mike D'Antoni, but I might listen. Outside of the LA teams, I think there's only one other team in the Western Conference that can dethrone either one of them, and that's probably is Houston. I hate to admit it, that small ball is looks like it's going to work.
It's starting to look good.
Yeah,
Looking good.
they have no problem shooting threes, and they're going to continue to shoot threes.
Right.
And
Looking good, but no Nuggets. You don't think Jokic could do it?
No.
A full Nugget squad
No.
with Jamal Murray?
No.
no, you're talking like Jamal Murray matters, man.
Facts. Listen,
saying.
we know the keys to success. You got to have a solid 3. They don't have that. All they got is Jokic.
All right,
But
who's the third on Houston?
They don't need that when you got Super Russ and Super James. Those two alone are going to wear you out.
Look, small ball is working. It's shockingly working.
Yeah, it is.
To me.
That game, James Harden had 6 steals. Don't
Yeah.
talking about that.
Yeah, and James Harden is actually playing a lot more better defense.
Right.
And the thing is that even if Harden's having an off game, the 3 ball's not working, he was all right, listen, all right guys, 3 ball's not working. Here's the game plan. Russell, just do whatever you want on offense.
Facts.
True.
Let Russ be Russ.
That's
Yeah.
true. Here's why I think Houston's not going to win. Because you can have teams like the Lakers that can play small but be big. You can put Anthony Davis at center.
Yeah.
And they can do the same thing.
Let me ask you this, though. With Avery Bradley leaving the Lakers, who's guarding Russ and Harden on the perimeter?
Okay, even with Avery Bradley there, he's not going to guard.
Because LeBron's not guarding either Harden or Westbrook.
Okay.
That's what I'm
He wasn't
saying.
going to do
Listen,
it anyway.
and
not to
mention,
Again, who's
you-
going to guard LeBron and Anthony Davis?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Keith Sweat.
Nobody.
right. But listen, when I look overall, when you look at the Western Conference, there's nobody in the West that D's up. Right, all the hard-nosed defense, like Boston.
Clippers?
The Clippers are the only one, but
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, outside of that, it's all offensive centric.
I got 2 things I want to say about the Rockets, right?
Okay.
I feel like number 1, this pandemic and the 4 months off or however long it was might have been the best thing for them, because think about how many times Russ and James separately have willed their teams to the playoffs and ran out of gas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those 2 might be crazy.
That is true. That running out of gas is no longer a factor.
I don't really
It's not
think
a
it's
fact.
likely that they'll run out of gas. They just pretty much had an off season in the middle of the season. So that's kind of scary.
You got shooters backing you up: Robert Covington, Eric Gordon, PJ
Yeah.
Tucker, and even in case PJ Tucker, who's playing the center and gets in foul trouble,
Yup.
we still got a 7-foot center, Tyson Chandler, throwing a bench.
Agreed, but they're not gonna put him in
Yeah, I
for
know that.
nothing. D'Antoni only wants
They
shooters.
put
in.
Jeff Green in at center or something.
That's fine. He shoots.
Yeah.
He shoots.
fine. Yeah.
My second point that I want to bring up about the Rockets is I also feel that, believe it or not, and this is just from the few games that I've watched, and even a little bit this season, I feel like the Rockets have taken Russell Westbrook's identity. Think about his tenacity and how hard he plays. People may come at his defense, but he's still everywhere, playing the passing lanes. And the younger guys, they look up to their leaders, and they play the same way Russ plays. Believe it or not, the Rockets, and it's weird saying this in Mike D'Antoni in the same sentence, but the Rockets and Mike D'Antoni are actually playing defense.
They are.
They really are.
They are.
Oh, absolutely. All 5, they may be playing small, but those 5 Rocket players on defense, they all look like gnats.
Yep.
Yeah,
Especially when they're zone, playing the passing lanes, just throwing bodies.
they're pesky.
Yeah.
They're really pesky. So I don't know. You might be onto something with the Rockets, because we talked about this last week. If they don't do it, they got to blow it up. So maybe this is the time.
I just don't see it happening, just because the Clippers and Lakers can play the same way but go big. But I'll give it to them, because the Rockets against Golden State, when they went small,
Yep.
the only reason the Rockets lost is because they missed a historical amount
What
of
was
threes.
it 23,
26.
26 in a
That's
row or
the
something?
only
Yeah.
reason they lost is because they
Yeah.
just missed that many.
And that's also the point I was going to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Warriors. because the thing about this is that the only way to beat the Rockets is that you got to match their pace. The Warriors are the only team in the Western Conference, and like they're not even a factor
It's
now.
a very valid point.
Nobody can match their pace. So like, here's the only way you're going to beat them is that if you slow the game down and like you beat them in the half court. And
But that's not going to happen.
And that's not going to happen.
Nobody's like, and then also what happens is players at the end of the day, they're competitors. So if you see these guys darting up and down the court, getting buckets, and next thing you know, you down like 12, what you going to do? You're going to start darting up down the court, trying to get buckets, trying to come back. But that's not your game plan. That's not going to work.
So it's like as many post-ups you could do with Anthony Davis on the one end of the floor, James Harden threes.
Facts.
And then if you
three
double,
counts more than a two.
Exactly, always.
And not to mention that James Harden gets to the line 18 times a game.
Yes,
that's going to
And
slow
shoot
the
at
pace.
90%
It's
clip.
going to demoralize
And
you.
now you have Russell Westbrook who's doing the same thing at this point.
Right, but coming with force and tenacity. Next thing you know, your bigs are in foul trouble.
Yeah. So so if I'm the Western Conference, listen, the only reason why I'm going to pay attention a lot more to these seeding games is because you got to watch where the Rockets are seeding.
Yeah.
Because it depends on which LA team is going to get matched up with
That's
the
the other
Rockets.
thing.
Bro.
That's the other thing. Watch out if the Rockets actually get the second seed. That's what you need to watch out for.
Is that even in reach for them?
Yes,
I'm
it
about to pull it up
is.
right now and see.
Yeah, between
Yes,
like
it
the
is.
second and like everybody else. Hold on, let me just.
I'm about to pull it up right now.
It's like a game.
If it's like a game, that's going to be crazy because for real, they can definitely try and make something happen. I think so.
Ooh,
What? That's crazy.
they're only 3 games out.
Yeah, 3 games out. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, they could make some moves.
it.
Man.
I don't know if they have the tiebreaker against the Clippers, but they can make it.
Hold on, timeout. This is something that I just got a notification of. So Jaren Jackson Jr. is out for the season.
What?
Yeah, he tore his meniscus in his left knee
Oh my goodness.
versus the Pelicans.
Well, that's it for the Grizzlies.
That is it for the
And
Grizzlies.
honestly, the Grizzlies definitely had like the worst, like the toughest schedule on. I
Yeah.
constantly going 0-8.
No, they do have the toughest schedule before this injury even took place. All of it now this is another alley-oop for the Golden Boys Zion. Like, this is ridiculous. They already have the easiest schedule, and now they just got another alley-oop.
That's true, but
So
I got
Pelicans or Portland?
Portland.
Okay, I'd rather have Portland too.
Yeah, but you know what? The league doesn't want to have Portland. You know why? Because they're forcing Zion. I'm trying to switch up my words now.
Yeah.
But they're forcing Zion upon us, and Zion is not it. I'm starting to truly think that Zion might be injured. Because from being a Sixers fan, we all know how we nursed our stars. How much did we nurse Joel Embiid? How much did we nurse Markelle Fultz? How much did we nurse Ben Simmons? Listen, I think Zion is hurt. This dude is limping around. At first, they were showing pictures. Bull was looking like Bane, right? Now he out here looking like he's been hitting every happy hour.
And that honestly brings me up to my next point. It's like you're in the playoff run and like you're only giving like Zion like only spurts of minutes. I'm like, that doesn't make any
Are
sense.
y'all trying to make the playoffs? Or
They
what?
literally made this entire concept
For you. Like, for you.
and they gave you the easiest schedule of the bubble for this to happen.
Facts.
And like, you're not going to take a part of this.
I don't get it.
My only argument against that is the fact that I know Zion Williamson's in starting lineup, but off the bench is JJ Redick, and I understand you want that shooting in at the end of the game, but Zion Williamson is your future,
Yes.
so you do have to weigh your options. But so if the coach came on to argue, I want JJ Redick on the floor, and someone does have to come off the floor. You're not taking Brandon Ingram off the floor.
No.
You're not taking Drew Holiday off the floor.
Can't.
You want to go small and take Derek Favors off the floor? You can
I
do
mean,
that.
some may not like this. I know
You
my
know?
homie listening not going to like this, but you could take Lonzo off the floor.
You wanna
Because
take-
Drew
take
Holiday
point
was
guard?
technically a point guard when he
could
came
do
into the
that.
league.
You
So
could
you
do that.
could take.
But that's my only argument. Is I want JJ.
But at the end of the game, though, it's like, all right, so am I giving up defense or I'm getting threes?
And we already seen JJ Redick in like playoff situations, especially when he's not hitting the shots.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But anyway, the NBA, they're just giving this to the Pelicans and they're just finding ways to blow it. Unfortunately, and I'm not fans of the Pelicans. I don't like Zion. I'm just going, look, that's my stance. I'm just
you
not
call
going
that man Zion?
Yeah, I called him Zion.
Yeah, I heard that too. It's like,
Y'all ever see that
Yeah.
it was the Josh Hart, they were killing him. He was like on Call of Duty
Yeah.
stream.
Mhm.
And they were like, Josh Hart, you don't even know what team you play for. You play with Zion in them. It was hilarious. it was hilarious. So
Speaking of Hart has been inconsistent in disappointment.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
important. I agree with that, especially on the
Yeah.
defensive end. Lonzo's important, and especially when Zion's on the field because Zion knows because Lonzo
doesn't make his free throws though, so I understand you want to take him off the court because he doesn't make his free throws.
But in their defense, Lonzo and Zion, they have great chemistry together.
Yeah, because Lonzo has really good court vision. He knows everybody. He knows how to get the ball in everybody's spots.
He does.
Which is also the reason why, like, when they traded away Zion, I'm like, dog, this is
Zion.
You mean Zion? You mean your name right?
10 minutes, just 10 more minutes.
My bad. Go ahead.
No, which is why, like, when they originally traded for Lonzo, the player I was worried about was Kyle Kuzma, because Kyle Kuzma and Lonzo had that chemistry. It was like he knew how to get the ball into like specific spots in which Kyle Kuzma knows. Mm-hmm. And like I don't think LeBron or Rondo really doesn't know how to like really incorporate Kyle Kuzma like in the half court offense like Lonzo did.
Well, I mean, he's been getting better with the Lakers. I've been seeing him come off of screens. He's been a little bit consistent with the three ball. So I feel like they are kind of working him in a little bit better, but at the end of the day, you seen the performance from Anthony Davis last night, and you saw LeBron James. You know who the ball's going to. You just got to figure out how to stop it.
And that's the difference. When Lonzo was on the Lakers, it was Lonzo learning how to play with his teammates.
True.
But when you have LeBron on your team, you have to learn to play with LeBron.
You got to be ready. Exactly.
That's the difference.
You got to be
LeBron. And LeBron's not waiting for you.
No, not at all.
Especially at 35, he's not waiting for you.
Speaking of LeBron, since we're talking about LeBron at age 35, let's talk about that closing sequence between the Lakers and Clippers game 1 that kicked off the resume of the NBA season, where he's locking up Kawhi. Then they do like a switch, and then now he's on PG. PG forces up a shot. Like LeBron's defense is still there. It just looks like he pick and chooses when he does play defense at the age of 35 in year 17 and a game winner. So like my question is this, because I don't give the Lakers a whole lot of credit on that one because Lemon Pepper Lou didn't play. And Montrezl Harrell didn't play at all.
That's nearly 40 points off the bench.
Exactly. So, I mean, truthfully, I feel like if the Clippers are firing at all cylinders the way they are now, and if, like, Paul George continues this,
playoff Pete.
They might be a problem.
We haven't seen playoff Paul George.
He's healthy.
Indiana, man.
Since he broke his leg.
He's healthy.
Yeah.
I haven't seen playoff P in a minute.
He had shoulder problems last year. He's healthy.
And it was tough for me to watch because y'all know I be talking trash about playoff. Like
Paul George. Yeah, we know.
So now I'm just like, dang, like he hitting every bucket. I ain't gonna lie, I picked him up on FanDuel.
He's shooting threes,
like
breaking it down.
Yeah, I mean, if he can keep it up, that's my only thing. Like if he's consistent, then he's cool. I ain't got no beef.
All right, yeah, that's a really good point. Clippers are firing on all cylinders. They might be making it out the West.
They might,
but once again, it all depends on where the Rockets end up. If they're in that 4 to 5 spot and they got to go against the Lakers in the second round, or if they make it all the way up to 3-2, then they got to face the Clippers. That where the Rockets end up could definitely play spoiler.
Patrick Beverly, Lemon Pepper Lou.
All right, I'm just gonna say this now.
Montrezl Harrell.
I'm just gonna say this now. Drew Holiday is every bit of the defender that the media tries to make out Patrick Beverly to be.
Oh yeah,
But they know now. They know now because now that the NBA players have these platforms to talk on, like we were talking about before, the All the Smoke podcast with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, and also the Knuckleheads podcast with Quentin Richardson. But anyway, listen, these players are now telling you like who's really good in the league, and if they always get asked this question, who's the most underrated player in the league? Everyone's like Drew Holiday. And he's easily like the best defensive player, like on ball defender, easily.
Like,
but I think he's finally now starting to get that because the players have that platform to talk and actually tell you what's up. It's not the media who's like, oh, this is it. No, the players are telling you Drew Holiday is a dog.
Yeah, because when I saw like a little like clip of like, oh, well, who's your pick for defensive player of the year? And I saw Patrick Beverly. I'm like, dog, get out of here, man.
What?
He's such a tryhard.
It's because they seen that man doing defensive drills and Timbs on the beach. That's why.
It's just personality. Like Patrick Beverly's personality.
They just because you scream doesn't make you a good defender.
It's just out. You're
not Tony Allen.
Drew Holiday is a silent killer on the defense.
Crazy.
Silent.
He might have one of the crispest Euro steps in the league too.
Oh man.
He always finds a way to get there.
He can shoot, defend. He's a ball handler.
One of my favorite series with Drew Holiday was, I think, like the last playoff series he had with the Sixers against the Chicago Bulls. And like that game too, like he was just breaking down Chicago. Like
buckets.
He had like 26 like going into the third, like midway through the third quarter. Like he was just breaking them down.
I remember he was so hot that one year. I actually had people asking me like, "Yo, you think Drew Holiday is a better shooter than Steph Curry?" I'm like, "Whoa, now you reaching, but Drew can shoot, but
Drew
that's
Holiday
a
better
reach."
defender than Steph
Oh,
Curry?
I mean that's
Yeah.
easy. That's easy. He's bigger than Steph Curry as well. But no, I think Drew Holiday is definitely finally getting the respect that he deserves.
Oh, absolutely. And it's about time.
It's way overdue.
All right. And listen, I got one more hot take. We got about like a few minutes left.
All right.
Listen, I concede. I got the Raptors coming out of the East.
Whoa, the Raptors?
I got the Raptors coming out of the East.
They are deep.
Because Fred VanVleet is a killer. He's
No,
a killer.
because I believe in Nick Nurse.
The
And
best
number
coach
one, I
in the
believe.
East?
No, number one, I believe in Nick Nurse. Yes, he's the best coach in the
He's
East
the best
right now.
coach in the
I
East.
think so too.
But listen, Brad Stevens is right up there. I believe Budenholzer is overrated. But
Yeah, but look at what Budenholzer has.
yeah, and even in like in Atlanta, like you can't win at least one game with a 60-win team against LeBron.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
but I mean it's LeBron.
I get that, but the Knicks. Well, listen, any other team. Listen, Doug Collins got a playoff win over LeBron.
Yeah.
You're telling me you can't do that with your entire team winning like Western Conference Player of the Month?
Still
Yeah.
take
Eastern
Budenholzer
Conference.
over Brett Brown.
But listen, here's the thing: best coach in the East.
Mhm.
They and every single time they go up against an elite team, they neutralize their star player.
They show
take
out.
Yeah, they take them out of their comfort zone. Like that game against the Lakers in which AD shot poorly.
He wasn't there,
Yeah, and it's like, all right, listen, we'll just take out Anthony Davis, and like the wheels are just going to fall off.
and that's what happened.
We're gonna-
And that,
we're
hold on,
gonna-
let's say that again. He took out one of their best players, and look what happened.
Yeah,
They won.
yeah.
Why can't we do this, Brett Brown?
Oh, that
Why
would
can't we?
that's too difficult. He
Yeah,
doesn't
man.
know how to do that.
Ah,
But
man.
Brown doesn't game plan.
But yeah, Raptors are.
Yeah, listen, and
We can't even beat the Raptors.
and it's like, listen, I'm just watching Kyle Lowry. I'm like, Kyle Lowry's a different player, man.
Yeah,
Right.
he's still annoying. He
it's-
remind me like of Chris Paul a little bit.
well, he's from Philly.
I know.
It's
from Philly.
Pascal
I know.
Siakam.
It's tough.
Yeah,
He's the best player on that team.
Yeah.
It's Pascal.
is it possible you're going back to back most improved players?
Uh,
Yeah.
you probably
He
could.
might.
He won't,
I mean, he increased
but he
again.
should.
I feel like they'll give it to Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think Brandon
he
Ingram
should.
should get him. But
He
Siakam is he definitely deserves it as well.
Yeah. But yeah, OG Anunoby, Marc Gasol, Serge Ibaka, like they got bodies to throw at.
Yeah.
They got bodies to throw at Giannis, and like
Fred Van Vliet.
and
That's your man. That gotta be your man.
listen, I always said that Fred VanVleet always looked like one of those barbers
Every
like
time-
52nd and Market.
Every time I see him
You see
play,
them, you see them lineups. You got, man.
shape up. Do be sharp.
it's sharp. And he can play Wichita State ball. And,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
I got a hot take.
Oh,
Me and my
okay.
homie was talking about this a couple days ago. I'm glad we only got 3 minutes left because y'all don't have to air me out on this one.
Okay, all right, sure.
But I think that James Harden is the greatest scorer of all time.
MJ,
Yup. Because I think Kobe's better than MJ, and I think James Harden's better than Kobe.
you think Kobe's better than MJ?
Yes.
Even though Kobe got it from MJ?
Yes. Nobody works as hard as Kobe. That's why I'll give him that over MJ. But look at
Did you
James
watch the
Harden's
documentary?
buckets. Yes. But look at James Harden's buckets. They are effortless. They are effortless. I don't care how many times he goes to the free throw line. They are effortless. Kobe worked for his buckets. Nothing came easy for Kobe. I'm just talking about like looks, the eye test. James Harden gets nothing but easy buckets.
He is one of the greatest scorers that I personally have seen. The only reason why I can't give it to him is because I've yet to see James Harden establish a post game.
Do he need to right now?
And that's where I was gonna take it. Like James Harden just takes more threes than any
And-
Kobe or MJ.
And he makes them.
He does. But so did Kobe and MJ in the clutch. Like they could have done that too. But in the era they played, that just wasn't needed. Allen Iverson, I hear Allen Iverson's not in that
Oh
conversation.
man, listen, you're gonna hate mail right now.
I
I
love Allen Iverson. He
Yeah,
is
that's my
not in that
all-time
conversation.
No, Iverson's not, man. He's 15 feet in
He is
there.
not. No.
Nah, but no, that's my hot take. I think he's the greatest scorer of all time.
Okay, I'll agree.
Easily. I'm just talking about the ease of his buckets. The ease.
If you say he takes the easiest shot, sure, but greatest scorer,
Gotta be. Like
I'll
Kobe
I'll
was
say
doing 90 pump fakes to get a shot.
Kareem, like,
I guess. I mean, we ain't seen Kareem. We can't argue that.
Wilt 100-point
We ain't
game.
seen
You weren't even
we
a
can't
thought
argue
was a
You
that.
gotta
shot.
look at the stats.
All right.
There was no 3 in the cube.
All right. Listen, we'll continue the discussion next week. We got to cut this off. And once again, thank you to listening to Uptown Radio WJYN 98.5. Thank you for listening to our live stream. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for airing out Mark for his egregious comments.
Whatever.
Thank you.
I got more to
Do it again.
Anyway, Chris Thomas,
Mark Thompson.
and
Langston.
you gonna be back next week?
Yeah, I can.
All right,
Come
cool.
through.
All right, man. All right, man. Peace.
Peace.
Peace out, y'all.
Peace.